What's going on here in the Beat Sessions? I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. Let's talk about Weyes Blood and this new record, And in the Darkness, Hearts Aglow. She released that on November 18th. This is her fifth studio album and her follow up to 2019's Titanic Rising, a phenomenal record. And she keeps the streak going with this new record, both part of a trilogy as well. It's pretty cool, all the concept that's coming together. Frankly, I think she's reached a stretch in her career creatively where she is just making her best music. Definitely tough to argue which of those two records is her best to date, but I think that the competition is strong between those two. Excited for the third installment, but really glad to have this second one after 3 years. This project seems rather prescient. It's pretty interesting. Natalie Mering starts this thing off. That first record comes out in 2019. The concept of that record is about things getting ready to, just hit the fan, so to speak. And so obviously we endured the last 2.5 years or so, almost 3 years now. It's pretty wild. But she's got a chance to continue this project and work on that. And the second record, you talk about that whole concept of a COVID record. It's anything but, and it's something that comes up on the channel pretty regularly, given the times that we are in. But I like that her writing is just incredible. I love the poetic manner in which she addresses the issue, and it definitely feels like you're reaching the end of the record and there's this sense of a light at the end of the tunnel, a sense of positivity. But what I really enjoy about the music on this record, and there's been a couple projects this year where I've just enjoyed the way the melodies come together and the complex dynamic that exists in the music that's created. On this record, it's tense, but it's also calming. It's so many things, just an amalgamation of so many feelings, so many different genres as well. It's really cool to see her tie in all these different, just wonderful instrumental pieces, really working with a Baroque pop feel, chamber pop feel. She reminds me a lot of Tori Amos on this particular record and the last record as well. I think her songwriting style is gorgeous. All the instrumentation she's working with, the writing and her perspective. I really dig her lyrics, and I like how evocative the music is. I like the tension it creates, and I like the number of emotions that you're going to feel while listening to this record. 10 songs, it's coming in at a really nice 46 minutes. And honestly, it's really only about 8 tracks. There's 2 songs on here. One of them, the title track, unfortunately, it's only like 14 seconds. It's just kind of an electronic filler. And Holy Flux, your eighth track, is another one pretty short. It's like a minute runtime on that, like maybe like 75 seconds. But the 8 compositions, it reminds me a lot of classic rock compositions. And I look at Zeppelin records, or you look at all those outfits, and back in the day, a solid record, more often than not, you'd get 8, 9 songs. And I think that these tracks, the way that they come together, the experience it creates, that just beautiful, like, ideal 45-minute period that this record fits into is phenomenal, and it makes me really just so excited for the third project. I imagine, I mean, who even knows what she'll do with it? It's exciting to hold on to see. I imagine that some of it will probably be based on life as it continues to spiral in whatever direction you think it may be going. But she's an interesting woman. I think that I mean, the other 2 projects that she's worked on, the main ones anyway, I know she's done a lot of stuff, but Jackie O Motherfucker and Satanized are the 2 other main projects that she's been a part of. When I was looking her up and researching her, I just became familiar with her with Titanic Rising. So if you haven't checked out that record, go check that out. Listen to this record. This is going to be in talks for album of the year. Absolutely gorgeous. Her vocal melodies strong. I think her voice is gorgeous. I really like the way that this thing opens up with "It's not just me, it's everybody." The sentiment of the song is pretty cool. I like that. I like that just right off the bat, this idea that we're all on the same page. Like, we've all had to battle this experience, resonates with all of us. And it's maybe time to take a moment to listen to others from time to time. It's something that I've had to check myself on too, losing patience, feeling tired, feeling that lassitude, but knowing that there's someone out there that their experience might resonate with mine. There might be some similarity, And that conversation might turn up something that helps you move forward, move beyond this. You never know. You never know what that kind of stuff opens up. So I dig the way that this album opens up. I like the rolling piano. It's just like the lights, like really nice, like light string arrangement to open up the curtains on this thing, and you get that piano, beautiful vocal melody, just Americana pop. Really, just feeling Tori Amos a lot in this first track, and for the remainder of the record, it's she's. I really like Tori, and I would argue that, I mean, Weyes Blood is maybe doing that style, that sound better than anybody since Tori, I'd argue. This record is really good. Children of the Empire, your second song, piano and vocal in the intro, you get these jaunty notes. I really like that. The acoustic guitar that works in on this thing is phenomenal. I really just like the way that comes in, and then it builds nicely. There's this cool gospel feel in the breakdown that I really enjoyed. Moves in and out of so many pretty parts. This is a fun composition that explores quite a bit, and really just exceptional to listen to. Excuse me, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Grapevine is your third song, acoustic, thick bass to match. I really like the pensive mood, and this song is a perfect example of what I'm talking about as far as just that balance of feeling. There's moments where like you're feeling light and optimistic, but then there's times where there's just it doesn't feel like that things are looking good. It's an interesting dynamic that she's able to create with the music. But really enjoyed the lyrics on this particular track as well. Just some good stuff, especially towards the back end. I would check those lyrics out, follow along, and look them up. Your fourth song, God Turned Me Into a Flower, and this is going to end your A side, given the structure of the record. All those first four songs pretty hot. They average probably about 5.5 minutes, and so this is going to conclude that first side. Gentle organ wash in the background on this thing, and then a vocal to open. I really like that element. Strong gospel feel, and it's something that she talks about big in her upbringing, and she talks about the sacred space. It's really, I like her take as far as the human effort that has gone to erecting these structures where we come in, and whether you're religious or not, it doesn't matter, but it's all about the idea of building these amazing structures that we go into to ostensibly celebrate and sing in. It's an amazing thing, and so I like her idea of writing music and the concept of performing music in that sacred space, not necessarily a church, but that space in your mind. I think it's really cool the way that she talks about that. It's I really just I like the strings that build in gently on this thing. This line, it's a curse to be so hard, you shatter easily, can't pick up those shards. And it's just I love that edge that she's working with. And this track, Coda's gorgeous. 3 minutes of just beautiful music, this ambient journey to close out the A side. I really like that song a lot. Hearts Aglow is going to kick off your B side. Get this light rush of water and a mellow arpeggiated guitar riff to open this thing up. Love when the shaker hits, and there's a little bit of minimal percussion as well that gets blended in. It's really nice. And then the drums hit, everything fills in nicely. You get this so much going on. There's folk, gospel, doo-wop, a little bit of classic pop. It gets a little psychedelic at moments. I mean, it's just a wonderful way to kick off the second side of this record. And there's a cool little guitar solo just to ice this cake. It's pretty sweet. And in the darkness, your sixth track is 14 seconds, just a little bit of electronic ambience there. It flows right into Twin Flame, though. Probably the most contemporary sounding track on the album. Electro drum intro. It would make Phil Collins blush, honestly. I heard it and immediately just my head went there. And I think if you've heard it, or immediately when you do hear it, you'll smile about that. But I like just the mellow ambience. It's brilliant. It drifts into some dark melody, but contrasted with the bright vocal elements. This is another good example again of that contrast that she's able to create, just that tension of emotions that it's just so stirring. I cannot get enough of this record. And Holy Flux is your eighth song. It's that's the basically the second interlude, about 1 minute and 14 seconds there of instrumental. And then The Worst Is Done, your penultimate track. Really like the just the strong Americana and rock and roll feel of this track. It's I would say, as far as the arrangement, instrumentally, what's going on, it's maybe one of the more simple songs, but just musically, the melodies, the arrangement. It's so well put together, and I love the track. It's a really nice way to lead into your final song. A Given Thing, gentle piano and vocal are immediate, and they're going to carry this song. It builds into this really nice classic pop feel. Lots of wonderful instrumentation that comes in with regards to that, and a little bit of gospel feel. I like that element. It's really one of my favorite things in familiarizing myself with her and getting to know her. I like the impact of her upbringing. I don't know if it was that religious of an upbringing, but just that experience and that perspective of performing music in a sacred space is really cool. And I think it's paying off dividends because this record is immaculate, and we're going to vinyl please it. So I hope you enjoy this album. I hope you find this review helpful as well. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, do all the things to help Keith, MB, and I blow this project up in 2022, and stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews. We'll see you next time on the Beat Sessions.